Alright, you crazy kids, how you doing? Yeah, it's a slightly later than normal Friday Waffle coming to you on Sunday. Yeah, I hope you're all doing fine. Before I forget, don't miss excuse me, don't miss the exclusive Amiga themed live stream tonight by my good self. It's going to be kicking off at 7:30, and it'll run for a couple of hours. I hope you appreciate the nice camera angle. It's actually quite smart, actually. It's like a proper webcam. Yeah, just I got myself a proper phone holder, and I've got to say, it's quite flexible. I've obviously got it landscape, which is pretty good. So yeah, you know what? I actually started recording Friday Waffle on Friday. I started talking, spoke for about 2-3 minutes, and then I put it off, and I thought, nah, that's shite. Then about a minute later I thought, right, we'll give it another go. So I put it back on again, and then after about a minute I switched it off, and I thought, not doing it. You've probably heard me kind of rambling on about Friday Waffle and what have you, and I kind of feel like I've discussed everything that I need to discuss. It's not a discussion, the discussion is two-way, it's just me talking, but I kind of feel like I've exhausted what I've got to say about video games. It's fine when there's somebody else there, but from a sort of solo point of view, I just kind of feel it's not there. Now I had an interesting comment in the email by a friend of mine. He's a friend of the channel as well. He does comment on occasion. He's got his own YouTube channel, and he fellow Scotsman. He's like Billy Connley. He doesn't look anything like Billy Connley, but he does speak like him, and he's got the same kind of patter, the Glasgow patter, as Billy Connley. But every now and again he will share some words of wisdom with myself, and it never fails to kind of have an effect on me. It never fails to have a bit of an impact. It makes me think about things. He's great at kind of making you feel positive. He really is. He should be a life coach. Never mind this web development bollocks that he does. He should be doing like a life coach, inspiring people. That's what he does. And he said a few things to me that really kind of got me thinking. And one of those is, ditch the questions. Don't ban questions. He didn't say ditch them, he says ban them, positively ban the buggers. He says because you're sort of restricting yourself with that. And I do get it. I don't think I'm going to say ban questions. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be like arrogant enough to say don't you dare ask me questions or don't comment, because that would be kind of a bit silly, I think. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to try it. I'm going to no longer ask for questions, and I'm just going to. I think the Friday Waffle is, if and when I do it, it's not going to really be based around video games. It's still, if I've got stuff to talk about, then absolutely I'll talk about it. But I think, and this might sound slightly arrogant, but I think I've possibly outgrown just video games. Yeah, that's not an arrogant thing to say. People outgrow relationships, they outgrow hobbies, they've kind of moved on. And whilst I don't think I'm ever going to not want to talk about video games or whatever, I'm still, I think I've got, again, this sounds arrogant, I've got more to offer. That's, I think my strength lies with the ability just to talk pish. That's what I say all the time. And so with that in mind, I think I'm going to do other stuff. I'm going to attempt to kind of, especially the nicer nights. I mean, I feel comfortable, really comfortable doing these driving videos, because it's weird. There's something odd and difficult about sitting in a seat with a camera pointed at your face, and it's like saying, go, perform now. I've pressed start on the camera, you need to perform, you need to entertain, you need to amuse, you need to tell some kind of really hilarious anecdote about something, and that cannot be forced. You can't force that sort of thing. And for me personally, I feel much more relaxed, much more talkative, comfortable, whatever you want to call it, when I'm not in a situation that I've got a camera pointed at my face. Something like what I'm doing just now. I'm driving. You know what? I've got I don't know how this is going to work. I'm not going to be one of these people that walk about with a phone pointing forwards. I'm not comfortable doing that. Whilst I don't mind talking, it's more I'm not comfortable with having other people. If you're out walking and you've got a phone and you're talking whatever it is, I don't know, I just find that quite off-putting. I know a lot of people who make like YouTube content can go into a shop and point the camera and get filmed and all that kind of stuff. That's not me. So I've got what have I got? I've got a GoPro, which is pretty good. The only thing is, the sound is shit. The microphone is complete garbage. So what I might try is and do is record. I've got the GoPro. I've got a sort of like a belt that I can put around my chest, and I've got the GoPro stuck to my chest, so I can just walk and film. I don't have to hold the camera, whatever. So I can do that, and what I may do is just use my phone for the audio. You know, you can just record the audio. So I may give that a go. But yeah, you know, like I says, I'm just going to see how things go. But you know, Dave, you know who you are, mate. I always, I have replied to your email. You're always a joy. When I get an email for you, I know it's always going to be something good. There was a few things I wasn't 100% sure about what you were saying, but I've obviously replied to you. Yeah, thank you, Dave, for the email. Thank you for the G up. I think sometimes we all need a bit of encouragement. Definitely. Now, in front of you there, you may see 5 mounds. These are called the 5 Sisters. Now, these are on the outskirts of a place called West Calder. Why have I got some little arsehole? There again, I am driving at 40 miles an hour. Got a little boy racer right behind me. Just put the foot down a wee bit. Yeah, these 5 sisters, called the 5 Sisters. Now, these are actually man-made hills, and I can hear you screaming, how the hell do you make a hill? Well, back in the 18th century, 19th century, there was a man called James Simpson who actually discovered there's under the ground, there's a thing called shale. It's like a kind of orangey, oily kind of stone. He discovered that if you mine shale you can actually extract paraffin oil, and that's what they used for like miners' lamps, etc, etc. And he became, I mean, he's obviously long passed away, but this whole area that I live in was, there was shale mined, was getting mined, and like I says, they used the shale to manufacture oil, and like for lubricants, and like I says, for paraffin lamps. You've heard of paraffin. He was called Paraffin Young, James Young he was called. Did I say William? His name was James Young, or James Paraffin Young, because he effectively invented paraffin. So yeah, these, you can see they're Five Sisters Zoo, because I say these hills are called Five Sisters. These were actually, now when you dig up shale, you're obviously digging a big hole. They dump it, and it creates a hill, and they call that a bing, as in search engine for Microsoft, B-I-N-G, bing. That's what they call a bing. And yeah, there's 5 bings. There used to be a little more in this area, but most of them have disappeared. Apparently they've got, like, in the centre of them, it's extremely hot, so actually getting rid of bings is very, very difficult. But these are part of the landscape, it's part of the history of where I live. So we're just coming into a place called West Calder. This is about 10 miles west of Edinburgh. So I'm just on my way to pick up the dogs. The dogs go to my sister's house every 2 weeks. It's great, she enjoys getting them, and it gives me a bit of a break. I go to my girlfriend's every second weekend, so. But yeah, the dogs have a great time. They get completely spoiled. There were some horrendous roadworks here for months. It felt like months and months and months and months. Probably was months, actually. Can't think of anything else famous about West Calder. About 2 miles that away is a place called Blackburn. Now, I know you've never heard of Blackburn. Well, there is a Blackburn in England, but this is a Blackburn in Scotland. Blackburn is the home of a certain person called Susan Boyle, who you've probably heard of. Yeah, she lives in Blackburn. And Lewis Capaldi, he lives about 3 miles away in a place called Whitburn. So this place is a hotbed of talent. Anyway folks, listen, I'm not going to go video in my sister's house for obvious reasons. So yeah, I shall see you later. Thank you very much for watching.